People are always trying to outdo themselves. That's true in art, it's true in science, it's true in technology, and it's even true when it comes to architecture. There are plenty of videos out there about the most complex buildings in the world, the oddest buildings, the ones people most want to live in or should never consider living in. We're not going to discuss any of that today. No, we're going to take a look at a different set of architectural feats. Today, we're going to discuss the most expensive skyscrapers in the world. To make our list more cohesive, we're only going to discuss the buildings that are habitable. That means that tall and expensive buildings used to generate power or only used for machinery are going to be left off this list. If you ever wanted to touch the sky and feel like a true royal while you did it, then this list is the one for you. We'll cover all of the massively huge buildings that come with a massive price tag, so you can help figure out which ones you really want to try and visit. Burj Al Arab. We're going to start our list with Burj Al Arab. This is the third tallest building in the world and comes with a price tag of $15 billion. It was built in 2011 in Mecca, Saudi Arabia. You can find Burj Al Arab at the center of the Islamic holy city, very close to the Grand Mosque. This incredible piece of grand architecture serves as a hotel. It hosts both the largest clock and the highest clock in the entire world. That's why another name for this building is the Makkah Royal Clock Tower. Building here wasn't easy. Both a hill and a fort were demolished so that Burj Al Arab could be built. It's 1,972 feet tall and has 120 floors. Can you imagine what a view from the top must be like? The most interesting thing about this building is that it isn't just tall, it's also bulky, containing the largest floor area among any other skyscraper in the world. Burj Al Arab is made up of 7 different towers, each one of varying height to pair with the central clock tower. That means there's ample room not just for the hotel, but also for the Islamic Museum, the shopping mall, and a large amount of prayer rooms. In fact, there are only 858 suites in the entire thing. There are also 2 helipads on the roofs of 2 of the smaller towers. It broadcasts prayers and other messages via loudspeakers several times a day. The London skyline. The newest highlight of the London skyline is the tallest building in Europe. It's also one of the most expensive, having cost £1.5 billion. That's something because it's currently worth almost double that price. This expensive skyscraper is called the Shard. It's 1,016 feet tall and has a total of 96 floors. It's the tallest skyscraper in all of Western Europe and got its name because it strongly resembles a piece of glass rising out of the River Thames. It almost wasn't built, as it faced considerable operation from both English Heritage and the Royal Parks Foundation, as well as the management of St. Paul's Cathedral. The last one is because the Shard's shadow would land directly over the cathedral. All the same, plans were approved and the building clearly was created. If you're wondering what a building like this is used for, the answer is a little bit of everything. This massive building contains a 26-floor office complex, 3 restaurants, an observation deck, residential apartments, the Warwick Business School, and even the Al Jazeera Media Network. That's not to mention the 5-star Shangri-La Hotel inside of it. Perhaps the most incredible piece about the Shard is the fact that it's covered in glass. It uses 11,000 panels of glass to decorate the outside layer. That's enough glass to cover over 8 football fields. The One World Trade Center. We've also got the One World Trade Center, which can be found in New York, New York, in the United States. It cost just under $4 billion to complete back in 2014 and sits at a whopping 1,776 feet tall. It's the exact same height as the Twin Towers, which formerly stood in its place, and also the same height as the year of which the Declaration of Independence was signed. It has been made with over 40,000 metric tons of structural steel. Inside of the massive skyscraper is a memorial and a museum, both dedicated to 9/11. The memorial itself contains 49,000 cubic yards of concrete. That's enough to pave more than 200 miles of sidewalks. It also contains 78 floors of office space. It's not all office space though. The observation deck of the tower begins at 1,362 feet. It's a glass parapet that extends to 1,368 feet and was made in honor of the North and South Towers. Taking heed of the disaster that struck on 9/11, this skyscraper was built with dense fireproofing, high-strength concrete meant to withstand 7 times more pressure than normal concrete, and additional staircases for first responders. It doesn't just meet every building safety code, it surpasses it. The height doesn't make it hard to traverse either, as it has 71 elevators inside. elevators that go as fast as 23 miles per hour. That means you can go from the ground floor to the 102nd floor in 60 seconds. For those of you who are a little leery of elevators, does that sound like a help or a hindrance? Would you rather have a quicker, shorter ride or a longer, slower ride? Let us know in the comments below. The Princess Tower in Dubai. Next on our list is the Princess Tower in Dubai. Up until 2015, this was the tallest apartment building in the world. It's still one of the tallest buildings out there at 1,286 feet. It's taller than the Empire State Building. It also cost $2 billion to build, which makes it one of the most expensive skyscrapers in the world. You would think that would make it one of the most expensive apartment buildings out there, but rent actually only costs an average of $1,400 per month. That's still a lot more than the average person can afford, but it comes with pool and gym access as well as utilities. It's also barely half of what it costs to rent an apartment in New York City. Not to mention that the view is absolutely incredible. Because of the height of the Princess Tower, it's not uncommon for clouds to form beneath the upper floors, making it seem as though you're literally living in the air. The Princess Tower is located in Dubai Marina. This is a section of Dubai known for tall buildings. In fact, it's the world's tallest residential block. This section of Dubai contains 6 out of the 10 tallest residential buildings in the world. When it was first opened in 2012, it was one of the single most expensive buildings to have been built. But perhaps the most interesting part of the Princess Tower is that you've probably seen it before, even if you're not familiar with Dubai. That's because the Princess Tower has appeared in several scenes of Star Trek Beyond. The architecture looks so much like something from a futuristic planet, it made filming a breeze. The Antilla Private Residence in Mumbai, India. Another building that cost $2 billion to make is the Antilla Private Residence in Mumbai, India. If you're expecting this to be another hotel or apartment building, you're wrong. This is the home to the richest man in India, Mukesh Ambani. He's the chairman of an enterprise that specializes in gas and oil exploration and production. He moved into this 568-foot-tall building in 2012 and uses a staff of 600 full-time employees to run it. Not just clean it, mind you, but run it. That's because only the top 6 floors are set aside for residential sections. The other 21 floors consist of a 50-seat home theater, a functioning spa and health center, a personal temple, and even a snow room that creates snowflakes through a system built into the wall. While it's the shortest skyscraper on the list, it's still considered to be one of the most expensive and one of the most valuable pieces of residential property in the world. In fact, it's only beneath the Buckingham Palace. We're curious, if you had a chance to live in a building like this, would you take it? Let us know in the comments down below. The Petronas Twin Towers. Last on our list, but certainly not least, is the Petronas Twin Towers located in Malaysia. These are also one of the oldest on the list, having been built for $1 billion in 1999. These towers each measure in at 1,483 feet high and contain 88 floors each. That's 176 floors total, each one filled up with a mixture of offices and retail stores. When they were built, they were the tallest buildings in the world, having beaten out the Sears Tower in Chicago. Both towers are topped by spires known as pinnacles. This is a common feature of Islamic architects. Despite no longer being the tallest towers in the world, they are the tallest twin towers. While the top floors are home to companies like Huawei Technologies, Reuters, and even Microsoft, the lower portion is occupied by a shopping mall. This shopping mall is one of the most popular tourist destinations. The 2 towers are connected by a double-deck sky bridge at both the 41st and 42nd floors. It sits 170 meters off the ground and is considered to be the highest 2-story sky bridge in the entire world. It's not actually meant for people to cross over it daily though. The bridge is a safety device, so that people can cross from one tower to the next during times of emergencies, such as fires when a building needs to be quickly evacuated. Out of these massively expensive, massively tall buildings, which one would you rather visit and why? Let us know in a comment down below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel before you go, so you can get alerts for all future financial videos.